At Amelia Island Plantation is the stage for the two best clay courters in women's tennis. Statuesque Gabriela Sabatini and the dominator Steffi Graf. Last year they fought it out for over 2 hours in one of the greatest matches of the year in the Bausch & Lomb semi-finals. Sabatini's from Argentina. She's at home on clay. It's her best surface, and she won the first set. Sabatini's vicious topspin is unique in women's tennis, but the world's #1 took the second set using her extraordinary speed about the court and her other deadly weapon, the forehand. This is the critical stage of the third set, and Sabatini improvises this courageous and extraordinary shot. Sabatini over Graf in 3 sets, her second win of the year over Graf, and it looked like it was going to be a two-person race, but Steffi Graf went on to win the Grand Slam and the Olympic gold. She's lost only 1 match since last year here, and they're wondering if she can be beaten this year. But if Graf can, it's Sabatini with the best chance to do it on this surface. Yesterday, she destroyed Martina Navratilova, last year's winner, in the semifinals. Today, it's Gabriela Sabatini versus Steffi Graf in the Bausch & Lomb for the championship next. Championship match, and 2 of the finest women players will play here today. ESPN's coverage of the Bausch & Lomb Championships is brought to you by Pella Windows. Discover how to turn your windows into a windowscape only at your Pella window store. The players are walking onto the court as you see. Gabriela Sabatini on the right, followed by Steffi Graf of West Germany. Good day to you, everyone. I'm Cliff Drysdale. Boy, things have changed from yesterday. You remember how bad the weather was here if you were with us yesterday. Things have changed. It is a beautiful day here, too, and they have a beautiful final, really. Imagine it. Gabriela Sabatini and Steffi Graf. Graf, the #1 player in the world, well, by a long way. And Sabatini, of course, is a challenger, very much so, especially on the surface, as we said. We introduced you to Mary Carrillo. Mary, well, the draw, when we take a look at it, you will see that Steffi Graf, again, has had a relatively easy time of it. And Sabatini, of course, well, it's been a little tougher for her.
Well, it was tough for Sabatini, of course, because she had to play Martina Navratilova in yesterday's semi, and she handled that one so very well. The thing is that with Gabriela is that she had 2 tough 3-setters before that, and she was able to come through on those. By the time she got to Martina, you could tell that her legs were under her. It was her first clay court tournament of '89, and now she's playing very well. Graf has played 2 quality players to get to the final, Arantxa Sanchez and, of course, Hana Mandlikova. And though she's not playing her very best tennis, Cliff, the fact is that she's been straight-setting her way through. I think it's going to be a really good match.
You know, one of the big things, really, Mary, is, and a lot of people are saying this, can she be beaten? And, well, it's a good question. Of course, in the history of our sport, to some extent, well, somebody always dominates. At this point, it is Steffi Graf that's dominating. Let's go down to courtside. Fred Stolle is there. Fred, with a few thoughts on, is it Sabatini that could hurt Steffi's domination this year?
Cliff, if Sabatini is to defeat Steffi Graf in 1989, this is her big opportunity because she's so confident. The last couple of tournaments she's beaten Everett and Navratilova, and here she is against Graf. She has fond memories about this tournament. I don't think she can beat Graf in a Grand Slam event, but fond memories because on this same court she beat her last year. Steffi Graf, on the other hand, is not too happy with parts of her game this week. However, as Mary said, she's breezed through and she's a perfectionist. I think it's going to be Steffi Graf's tournament today.
Thank you, Fred. It looks like you're going to have a pleasant time in the sun and in that pretty shirt. Sabatini and Graf, the #1 player in the world and the #3 player in the world, will play for the championship here of the Bausch & Lomb, live from Amelia Island. Plantation. That is in the northeastern section of Florida. It is beautiful up here, but let's take a look at how Mary, Fred, and I, when we were asked to analyze this match, saw it. We figured that the serve, Mary, would go to Steffi Graf, although, let's put it this way, 15 aces for Sabatini.
Right, it's her second serve, Sabatini's second serve, that could hurt her today. She doesn't want to have to put too many in. The footwork surely goes to Graf. She's got the best footwork in the game, and again, that could be a problem for Gabriela. The ground strokes, again, we gave to Graf, although the fact is that Graf's ground strokes aren't nearly as consistent as Sabatini's. But of course, that's because she goes for more winners. So we'll have to look at that. Steffi had 17 unforced forehand errors alone yesterday. The strategy, again, we gave to Graf, but just because I think we all feel she's a much better thinker on the court. She can work a point around. The only thing that Sabatini got the nod, as far as we were concerned, is the surface, this clay court surface. So they've both run up on clay, and surely Graf is an expert on this surface. It will help Sabatini to try to beat Graf on this clay, because the ball will be that much slower. It'll sit up a little bit longer, and she moves better, Sabatini, much better on clay than on any other surface.
She is from West Germany. And not yet 20 years old, so still a teenager, the #1 player in the world, Steffi Graf. Over $3.5 million in her career so far.
That's the applause you're hearing. That's all for Sabatini. She's become such a favorite here. She sort of made herself known here a couple of years ago when she got to the quarterfinals and played Chris Evert in a night match in 3 tremendous sets. Hit one of those between her leg shots in that match as well. And she's continued to do well here the last couple of years. As you can see, her world ranking now is up to 3. She passed Chris Evert shortly after the Australian Open earlier this year.
And consolidated that with her win over Chris in the final of the Lipton. Fred, let's go back to the winning edge. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the serve, Cliff, we decided was because of the second serve. We mentioned the fact that Sabatini has served particularly well. She's very confident, ready to go today, but I think it's tough. I think it depends on how Steffi Graf gets out of the blocks. When she gets out, she looks as though she's pretty eager, and the first few games, I think, will decide which way this match is going to tilt right from the start.
Explain that, Fred. What do you mean?
Well, I think that once Steffi Graf gets on top of Gabriela Sabatini's game at the start of a match, I just don't feel that Gabby comes back as well, doesn't fight quite near as well as does Steffi. And I think it depends on how many errors come from that Graf forehand, and that's the shot that she said she is not quite happy with. The ball has been getting up pretty high for her here. She's been missing a few forehands, and I think that will be a telling factor in this match today.
Last time they played was in the Australian Open. It was an interesting match. Well, it wasn't really that interesting. In fact, she started out 2 games all in the first set and then got, listen to this, 14 points in the rest of the match from 2-all. And the second set lasted 19 minutes. In fact, the average length of time of Steffi's matches this week has been under an hour. That is not unusual, of course, because, as you know, if you follow our game carefully, that's about what it takes her on the average. Steve Ulrich is in the chair today. He will cover this final match, $60,000 at stake, and the championship trophy here at the Bausch & Lomb.
Of that Australian Open match, the last time these two met, where it was such a dismissive match from Graf, Sabatini said she played very well that day. I did not play so well. She said, I'm playing much better now. And the win over Martina has given me a lot of confidence.
Steffi Graf, the server.
I think this will be a much different match.
First point.
15 love.
The fact that she won here last year too, Mary, I think that, and as confident as she is, she's got to believe that this is her court.
Biggest part about Steffi's game, of course, is the fact that she can hit you off the court so easily. And I was impressed last year in their performance here by Sabatini because Steffi could not hit the ball hard enough to get it away from her. She stayed with Graf.
30-15.
See today also, it's a very warm day, very hot, humid day here, and this court is going to dry out. If you remember yesterday's semi-finals, we played on a perfect court because it was damp and wet from the rain. That means they're going to slip and slide a little more today than they did in both semi-finals yesterday.
Graf had an easy time of it yesterday over Sanchez in the semi-final, and Sabatini beat Navratilova quickly also, so stamina should not be a factor. Graf is out of the blocks early, winning the first serve game, 1 game to love, first set in this best of 3. It is not very humid as well. Pin regular duty balls on this hard shoe surface, which is a good thing because it's a slow surface. The pin regular duty are a little quicker than the heavy duty.
Tell you what, it's a lot more than 75 degrees down here at courtside too. Cliff, you mentioned stamina. Hopefully you meant that was the girls had 2 easy matches yesterday, so they should be pretty fit. I think stamina will play a big part if this goes the length of the semi-final last year, because it was very tiring, 2 hours and 45 minutes or so. Yeah.
I was thinking back a year, Fred, when they played in the semi-finals here, and they were both worn out after that match, and then Gabriela Sabatini got in the final against Martina Navratilova, and well, she was just spent.
Both Sabatini's serve and her conditioning have really improved, though, the last year. Of course, her second serve hasn't improved nearly as much as her first.
$15.30.
Very good return off a tough serve, the kind of serving that Sabatini did against Martina, but they're going to be coming back to her today.
Break point, 2 of them. Second game of the match for Graf. One more. Try to chip that one back off the forehand side. You don't often see that from Steffi Graf. A little tentative.
I think it's the respect she has. I think you'll find her do that a lot more today off that first serve, and she did it in the match against Manlikova as well.
That'll be wide. Game point for Sabatini.
Again, it was the second serve that hurt Sabatini. It was short, it bounced nice and high, and Graf was able to step right in there and dictate the point.
Deuce.
showing the winning edge. We talked about footwork, and we gave that to Steffi Graf because she takes advantage of that situation much quicker than does Sabatini. See, that's short ball. She's round, clobber that forehand. Wide.
Sabatini holds on one game more. She was down 15-40 in the game, remember. Steffi Graf has won the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of this year. In fact, it took her the same amount of time to win the entire event that it took Mats Wilander to beat Ivan Lendl in the US Open final. She beat Sukova in that final after Sukova beat Navratilova. Close one, 7-5 in the third set in the quarterfinal.
Very important game, that one, for Sabatini to get out of 2 break points in the first service game in the final.
There's a plane flying overhead, and it has a sign on it that says that you've seen those, that du bist, it's in German, the best tennis player in the world, or the nicest lady in the world, something like that. She's not happy about it. You could see the reaction from Steffi. She says, just a second, and I agree with her. You don't want a plane flying overhead. It disrupts concentration. It's not a chopper, but it's still a problem.
It's been around for the last hour or so. Second ace of the day for Steffi.
The reaction wasn't exactly one of pleasure, was it? 30 love.
Sabatini was at the net in that last point, but not on her own terms. Took care of that one. Look how much court Graf has to end this.
Done on purpose too. Graf intended that short shot to bring Sabatini into the net.
Game point. And that'll do it. On serve, no serve breaks yet. 3 games into it. Graf leads it to Amelia Island, which is just about a 30-minute drive from the airport in Jacksonville anyway. So if you want to come down here and visit this beautiful place, Jacksonville is a place to fly into, and a short half hour later you'll be here. It is Graf 2-1 in the championship match. No serve breaks yet. Sabatini serving here in game number 4. Sign on that plane, by the way, says you are the prettiest girl in the world, according to our German friends who are covering this match for German TV. Love 15. just long. You're watching the Bausch & Lomb Championships live from Amelia Island, Florida. Steffi Graf, the #1 player in the world, is playing Gabriela Sabatini from Argentina. She's #3 player in the world, ranked #3 here. The top 3 all showed up for this tournament. I'm Cliff Dreiser, along with Mary Carrillo and Fred Stolle. He's calling the action for you at courtside. Best of 3. The score is 2-1 on serve, first set for Graf. Oh, yeah.
Tremendous effort from Sabatini to stay in this point. Very physical point this was. She was all over the court, as you can see. At this stage, Graf is totally dominating it, but that smash spikes its way up. Graf has a play on it, and then another smash from well behind the tee. That was just a good effort all around.
Sabatini's doing all the work, though. It's this stage, it's Graf that's dictating this match. That's the way we felt the first few games would be, with Steffi Graf trying to get an early break. She had 2 break points. First service game of Sabatini.
Steffi Graf has only had her serve broken twice this whole tournament. Sabatini's been broken 9 times. Here's a couple of chances.
Sabatini, after a couple of long points, though, tries to finish the next point pretty quickly, as she attempted on that backhand.
Big serve at the right time, but still break point for Graf.
To Sabatini's credit, her serve has been attacked all week long. She's had to hold off 27 break points. And again, she's only been broken 9 of those 27 times. It's pretty good.
Long. First break of the match, 3-1 for Graf.
Steffi has been dictating the pace against any opponent. That's what she does. Part of the reason, of course, is the extraordinary footwork. She doesn't like traveling too far beyond that baseline. As a matter of fact, with most players, she's inside of the baseline most of the time.
Lesson to learn there is little short steps, quick steps, not great big steps. You do that when you're at the net position, stretching for volleys. The back of the court, running around at short steps, get to the ball.
That was called fault on that first serve, but it was clearly
a good
line, yeah. And he's going to change his mind, I'm sure. Yep. And so she'll get to serve 2.
Again, we talked about looking through the net. We talked about that a couple of days ago. It's a long way to call those ones that are very, very close like that through the net. Tough job.
It's difficult to be critical, isn't it, of any aspect of mechanical side of Steffi's game, but I think she throws the ball up too high on this serve. I'd bring it down about a foot or 2.
No, it's a pretty nice serve.
You can't argue with it. I just think you could get even more out of it if she brought it down a little bit more, because her swing necessarily would be a little quicker, so she'd hit it a little harder.
On a windy day, boy, that could be trouble.
is a very big game here for Gabriela Sabatini. She must break back immediately here. The door has opened. If Graf whole serve goes to a 4-1 here, this could be a tough one. But a love 30, Sabatini could get right back into it.
Triple break point.
Again, a short ball gone.
Two saved by Sabatini. He had like 40, it's now 30-40. And if you're right, Fred, and of course you are, this is a crucial point for her.
Right off the line. Still blocking that ball.
What a point. It's deuce. Just watch this. At the back, and then she does the right thing, comes into the net, finally trying to put it away. But she challenges Steffi, and Steffi is up to the challenge. Cross-court off the forehand. You wonder, don't you, why she made that approach shot down the line into the forehand side. Graf has 9 winners, and Sabatini 1 in the match.
And Gabriela Sabatini taking all the time she can. She must have run 150, 200 yards during that point alone.
She could have very well just saved herself from a complicated set, Graf. Sabatini would have been right back on serve.
The thing that has amazed me in this game, particularly in the long rallies, is that Steffi Graf has had 4 or 5 opportunities when she's played that slice backhand or the forehand to go to the net. Obviously, she's in her game plan. That is not the way she's going to play today.
It's interesting to me that Sabatini is coming in as much as she is. This is game point now.
If you remember in their match last year, Steffi Graf came to the net, I think, on 2 or 3 occasions, and Sabatini on maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah, it was a slugfest from the back, wasn't it? I don't think Sabatini should be too eager to get in, because it was those big topspin shots from both sides that Steffi could not put away last year.
I think the reason she went in then, Cliff, basically was, well, I've run 200 yards here. I've got to get in here and finish this point, otherwise I'm going to take too much out of me. So.
Deuce. Here's Wild, and Graf, after having been down low 40, has come back to win the game. 4-1, 1 serve break. Osvaldo Sabatini. Gabriela's father, of course, and Peter Graf is here too. He is there he is. Familiar face, Peter Graf. Now, people recognize him because he's been on television so much when he goes into restaurants. Face a little bit like Ringo Starr, doesn't he? And doesn't she, actually? Her 5 straight Grand Slam wins have come against 5 different players. Everett in Australia last year, then Zverev at the French Championships, Navratilova at Wimbledon, Sabatini at the US Open. This year, Sukova again at Australian. She's running out of opponents.
I think what that really shows is how wide open the number 2 spot in women's tennis could really be this year. Sabatini is playing a very strong game. She said mentally, she said the thing you have to do against Graf is to play so well mentally. She thought that mentally she was consistent throughout the Navratilova semifinal yesterday. She said it's the only way you can beat Graf.
Not yet found the range on the first serve, and we mentioned she served a bunch of aces throughout the week here, and just not quite on track, and needs to get there because she's under pressure on that second serve all the time.
It's her first double fault. She's only served 6 double faults all week. And that's number 7. The other big match they played last year was the Olympic Games final in Seoul, also won by Graf. She took home the gold. She'd like that one again. Open court, try to steer it down, and missed.
Just the way the great ones play that, though. She set up the volley, didn't try to go for the passing shot, set up and then anticipated the sprint cross court and had an open court.
Game point. If Sabatini comes back, Graf will look at the replay of this and say, that cost me. To 2. Amelia Island is one of the first tournaments on the clay court season, which ends up at the French Championships for the women. On to Tampa from here, then Houston, Hamburg in Germany, The Italian, that's in Rome, of course, German Championships, Geneva, and then the French for nearly $2 million in prize money. The men's season for clay court tennis is just about the same length. And this is the start of it all.
Great touch here from Sabatini, the explosive return, and Steffi tries to draw her into the net here, but watch this one. Flick of the wrist and angle back cross court. Steffi anticipating the one down the line to the forehand. Graf a little more successful with the serve to the Sabatini forehand. That's where a lot of the errors on the returner serve are coming from Sabatini. Oh. Must have heard me.
Game point. Graf goes for so much more, doesn't she, on the shots than Sabatini. She doesn't have the same margin for error, so I feel that if they both stay back and Sabatini can just decide she's going to stay back and rally with her, it's a good play.
Well, the thing about Sabatini is we've questioned her footwork a little bit, but the fact is that she knows how to slide on clay, she knows how to dig in, and she's strong enough to get back a lot of Graf shots that most people can't get back. So she gives Steffi one more chance to miss.
Also, I think if this match gets close and even and tight, I think Sabatini has a greater repertoire of shots than Steffi Graf. Steffi just doesn't give an inch on that forehand, whereas Sabatini can mix it up off both sides.
This is break point.
I think Steffi got tired of long rallies in this game. As soon as she saw something float, she took it.
Reaction from that, and I think she can do that a lot and on many more occasions. Power of those ground strokes.
That is long. There have been 4 break point opportunities apiece. Only one break is serve, and that went to Graf, but Sabatini's had her chances. Game point now. Graf holds serve. 5-2. One serve break. First set. Some major happenings here at the Bausch and Lomb Championships on Amelia Island. First of all, Natalia Svereva, after playing the final last week, lost to Steffi and rather losing to Graf in the final. She is out here. She lost to Rachova of Czechoslovakia. Andrea Temesvari making a comeback. Won 2 matches, including a win over Terry Phelps, a number 12 seed. Kathy Rinaldi also in a comeback mode, got to the quarterfinals. She's a touring pro here at Amelia Island, and she beat 2 seeds, including Laurie McNeil. And another comeback artist, Hanna Manlikova, got to the quarterfinals.
Surprise tactic there from Graf as she took that second serve and chipped and charged, came to the net, forced the error.
Tracy Austin was also here, did not play the singles though. Serving to try to save the first set. 15 all.
30-15.
Sabatini needs to improve that, doesn't she? Makes a big difference. Look at that.
No two ways about this one. Again, there's the footwork of Sabatini that is tough on clay. The slide, and then she quickly is able to recover and just wing that thing cross court.
Game point.
How many players from that far out of position can get there in time and crack a shot like that? Only Sabatini.
Very instinctive. Sabatini holds on. 5-3. Graf will serve for the set. Tennis is not like, I'm always amused by the comparison between tennis and golf. You know, golf ball sits there, but you can kind of set up. In tennis, so much of what we do in this sport is instinctive. That kind of passing shot from Sabatini being an example.
Sabatini's hanging in there. She's just been on the ropes and just struggling, weaving one way or the other, but she's still in there. If she can get this going, only that one service break.
She said she's got to be so strong mentally. I think she is mentally very strong these days. All those sliced backhands of Graf, that's the shot Chris Evert wishes she had against Sabatini. That was another fine mental performance from Gabriela. But after that match, I said to Chris, the next time you play Gabriela, are you going to try to take her ball earlier, closer to the baseline? And Chris said, you know, my problem is I don't have that sliced backhand that Graf has. I've got a two-handed backhand. I can't handle those high ones as she does.
Yeah, that's a great volley. Like all folks who don't like to go to the net too much, she wasn't very close to the net, but she still made a good volley. It's not easy to do. 30-15, 2 points from the set.
It's that very big, high, loopy one that with lots of topspin. If it goes deep enough into the court, that's the one that Graf is having problems with. Not missing them by much, but they're the ones that are giving a bit of trouble.
I watched Graf's coach, Pavel Slosel, try to hit that kind of topspin in practice today. Nobody can. Maybe Ken Carlson could give Graf a feel for that kind of work. Surely Sabatini is the only one who comes close to putting that kind of excessive topspin on the ball. No other woman goes close to that. I also watched Sabatini practice well into the darkness with her coach, Angel Jimenez, last night, working a lot on the serve.
Set point. She apparently practiced the serve for darkness last night.
She did. She sure did. I couldn't even see her tosses.
That is long. First set to Steffi Graf by 6 games to 3. Best of 3 sets for the championship here at the Barcelona. There are the stats for the first set, Mary.
You can see troubling Sabatini. Hits a serve just as we thought. You know, that's pretty much the big key to Sabatini's success today, and it just isn't high enough at all. You can see that Graf has already had twice the winners and half the unforced errors as well.
Graf had twice as many unforced errors. That's the incredible thing there. It was 19 to 9. But she's the one that has, because she's hit twice as many winners, she's been the one that's been on the attack all the time, going for it.
Right. She's still dictating all the play, is what those numbers really suggest.
The fact is that Graf has won the first set, as you know, but they both had 4 break points, and Graf converted one. It's been a close match so far. First.
It's a nice one, a lot of body behind that. Took it right off the court. Ooh, 2 in a row. To the opposite side. Little smile from Sabatini.
Make that 17 now for the week.
What an improvement in this second set on serving. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
The crowd appreciate it too. Sabatini wins the first game of the second set, but she's down 1-0. Live from Amelia Island, close to Jacksonville, Florida. Championship match. Jacksonville, by the way, the headquarters, as you know, of the PGA probably, and you may not know, but it is the headquarters of the ATP now as well. Big sports country. Northeastern part of the state. I wonder if you saw that from Steffi. She's hurt by the big topspin from Sabatini.
She's also getting very slight bad bounces back there. She complained of them after her match yesterday as well. Actually, she didn't complain. She never does seem to complain.
That's the one that's been bothering her. That one on the backhand side, it seems to fly occasionally because she tries to meet that out so far in front of her and with lots of slice on it. And of course the racket face opens just a little bit too far on occasions, and that's what causes it to float.
You can see Graf, she often rubs the clay away. There's so much clay on this court. They had to do that yesterday with all the rain. Collects back on the baseline.
opportunity would have given her 2 break points.
Big point there. She'll remember that one.
Cliff Dreiser with Mary Carrillo. Fred Starr is a courtside. We're watching the Bausch & Lomb Championship match. Steffi Graf of West Germany, the #1 player in the world, playing against Gabriela Sabatini from Argentina. She's the #3 player in the world. $60,000 at stake. 6-3 first set for Graf. Sabatini won the first game of the second.
There's that shot again. It's interesting talking about the court surface from where Steffi Graf is. You can see that the court is pretty dry. Down the other end, the receiving end where Sabatini is, the shadow is over that baseline area there. So that sand is pretty dry and it gets in the way occasionally. Builds up.
You can see her thinking, can't you?
Consternation, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can see her thinking, I'm taking this ball in the air. I'm not going to let these high bounces, you know, make me nuts.
But that could be dangerous for her. I think that's what Sabatini wants. Deuce.
Another one.
Another break point. Now this is the 6th break point for Sabatini in the match, and she has not broken yet. It's a great shot. That topspin was a little short there, and that will happen eventually. But did you see where Graf was when she had to hit all of those that were long? I mean, she was nearly in the back fence.
Yeah, Sabatini is playing a good tactical match here because she realizes that that's causing the problems. But the last one was a little short. Then you pay the penalty if that happened.
Deuce. Cross-court.
She did it again. Unbelievable. Now, Graf obviously could have put this away, and that she didn't pay it. The chair is trying to quiet these fans, but boy, I think you got to let him holler about that one.
Oh yeah, what a display! Another break point. And there it is. 7 opportunities, and finally, Sabatini takes one. She's ahead now, 2 games to love. And you know, when she was going back with that between the legs shot, Mary, you knew that she had alternatives. There was something else she could have tried, but she wanted to hit that shot.
She hits that shot well enough. Not to, you know, it's not just an adorable, cute shot. I mean, she can really hit that thing.
Interesting thing with that shot, though, if she'd have missed that passing shot and Steffi would have put the ball away, you'd have said, well, that was not a percentage shot for that point. that time of the match, it was something that she probably should have played the other one. But that's the flair that this young lady has.
Exactly, and Fred, let's face it, she did that deep into the third in last year's match. That's when that shot came at a very crucial point in last year's semifinal. And she ended up winning that point as well. I've got to think, I've seen Sabatini win points like that against good players. I've got to think that she does it surprises him so much that it rattles him a little bit. All business from Graf, isn't it? Very workmanlike. She gets right back to business, and I think this is sort of a tired game from Sabatini.
Well, Graf knows she has to break back right now. Otherwise, the momentum of the crowd is going to go with Sabatini in the second set. Great shot.
And Sabatini did not want a long point here. Again, that last game was a long physical one for her, so as soon as she got anything at all short, and really, she just really had to create that and make a very, very fine volley.
15-30.
In our winning edge today, we didn't put up a net game because both these girls did not come to the net very often, but they both execute well when they get there.
They won Wimbledon together last year. There was some good net play there. Another very handsy slice backhand miss from Steffi Graf.
She's frustrated. Talk about mental toughness. She has let this topspin stuff of Gabriela get to her. 30 all.
Great serve. That's what let her down in the first set, 38% of first serves, and in the second set she served those 3 aces in a row in that first service game, and now seems to have a lot more rhythm on the first serve.
Game point for 3-love, second set. Well, have things turned around or what? It is 3 games to love in the second set. First set pretty much under control, although when you look back on it, you realize they both had the same number of break points, and there was really just 1 point in it, because Steffi only needed 1 breaker serve to win the set and serve it out at 6-3. In the second set, though, it's been all Sabatini so far. Love 3.
Point here and a point there, and it could have been a different first set.
Again, she's just not handling it off that backhand side, is she?
She has 2 choices, doesn't she? She can either get into it like she's doing now and try to attack it early like you see here, or otherwise she's got to let it bounce itself out and then go way back to the extremity of the court.
She's on fire.
And Steffi is just reluctant to do that because she is a very aggressive player. But she's paying the price. Love 30, love 3.
She's made more than twice the unforced errors of Sabatini. That's another one.
Yeah. 3 break points.
Look at that. Look at the unforced errors from Graf. Again, she's got more winners, but that's not helping her right now. The point of it is that, again, Sabatini is strong enough to put the ball back into the court, to make Graf try to hit winner after winner. Against most players, when Graf, it's over by the third point, by the third rally. Sabatini keeps spitting them back at her. saying, do it again.
Look at this. Now it looks Steffi's way out of it here, and Gabriela gets to it, has no trouble. It's only a question of getting to it. Once you get to it and your opponent is out of court like that, well, it's an easy shot. 4 games to love. 8 straight points for Sabatini.
All kinds of body, all kinds of extension, and right down the tee, and that's where Sabatini likes to go when she hits that big flat one.
It's the 4th of the match. She served 19 for the week. In a clay court, that's a pretty good number. That's a very good number. Remember that Graf has said earlier this week that she's been on the road for 11 weeks now. That's a long time. She says she's ready to get back home. And the same thing happened to her about this time last year.
Graf really felt that she had misscheduled herself. She had spent a couple of months in the United States. But she's done that again this year. Her only 2 losses of the year came at this time. Matter of fact, Sabatini's only beaten her in the state of Florida.
There were only 2 losses to Sabatini. Of course, she was beaten at the end of the year, too.
Right, to Pam Schreiber. Virginia Sims Championships.
Right. Why doesn't this work on a hard court, Fred, this topspin stuff that Gabriela is giving Steffi?
Well, I think on the hard court, the players go in a little bit more. Don't give them the opportunity. The ball doesn't get up as high. And only they can execute with that topspin because the court is a little slower as well. If you watch Sabatini in a rally, she prepares very early and hits with excessive topspin, but just the slow shot from Graf, the slice backhand, sits up and gives her that split second more that she can hit that excessive topspin. On a faster court, that won't happen.
Well, could it be a love set for Gabriela Sabatini in the second set? We'll find out when we come back.
See just how much excessive topspin is produced by Sabatini. She cranks a full-bodied swing, actually lifts right up off the court as she finishes through, and she can do it as well off the backhand side.
And it is causing all kinds of trouble to Steffi Graf. Love 5 in the second set.
That's just one ugly ball coming over the net. It's got so much work on it. Last night told Sabatini, I watched them get into rallies like that where Jimenez would keep yelling, alto, alto, higher, higher.
How many years would you have to go back in the record book to find out the last time Steffi Graf lost a set 6-love, if she is to lose that set 6-love? A long way. Normally it's Graf that inflicts that type of a score on her opponents.
I just checked it, Fred. He hasn't lost a love set for the last 2 years. In other words, 77 and make that 87 and 88. Of course not this year. She's not the kind to say I'm down by 5 to 11 the set, so I'm going to bag it, is she? Too competitive for that. 30-all. Close call. But game point. So she has broken her duck here in the second set, 5 games to 1. She's on the scoreboard, but very much behind in the set. 34 unforced errors in the match for Graf so far, and that told the story, or tells the story rather, of why Sabatini has dominated this set.
Sabatini hesitated there. She didn't know whether to go around and go for the forehand volley or play the backhand, and just the hesitation just kept her one step away, too far away from the net.
30-all. And now set point for Sabatini.
Sabatini got to the smash, but it was a tough one. It was a very good lob by Graf, and Gabriela just wasn't able to really put it away. Gave Graf another peek at it. She found the court she needed.
Deuce. 5-1, second set. Graf has broken back for the first time. 5-2 in the second set. Graf won the first 6-3. There are beautiful beaches that surround Amelia Island. 2 for Sabatini now in the second set. She had 5-love, remember. Graf won the first set 6-3. Dick Cooper is the owner of Amelia Island. So I guess you could say that overall he is our host. He's recovering from knee surgery, watching at home.
Graf just ran off the court. She had a lineswoman escort her as she changed her shirt.
Yes, he asked for permission to do that a couple of games ago, and I would think that when Sabatini sees that she's done that, Gabriela may well ask to do the same thing, because it is very hot and humid down here at courtside. And a packed stadium, this is the best day that they've had throughout the entire week.
An official has to go with the player as they duck off somewhere to change their shirts to make sure that there's no coaching done in the interim.
Serving at 2-5.
Tell you what, Gabriela Sabatini is doing a lot of work here. She's hitting half volleys, reaching for smashes, and that one, the topspin lob, just pinpoint accuracy right on the line. If this goes to 3 sets, conditioning certainly is going to play a part in the third set.
Is Angel Jimenez. He's from Spain. He's Sabatini's coach. Lively little guy, and of course he played Davis Cup for Spain. Gabriela can't get into a hitting mode here. She's got to stick with the tactics that took her to 5-love in this second set. The high top spinner is not trying to out-hit Graf. Well, the second set that looked like it was going to be a total rout has suddenly become question mark.
I'd say there's nothing between them right now. Sabatini has been making errors. Graf has found the court all over the place.
5-3, 3 games in a row for Graf. 2 of them on her own serve, of course, but just one serve break separates them now in the second set. Sabatini will serve for the second set for the second time. First game of this setup here, she cranked up 3 aces. She'd like to have them right now. Sabatini started out the year in Australia. She lost to Steffi in the semi-final there. And at the Pan Pacific in Tokyo, she lost to Mary Jo Fernandez, who gives her trouble almost every time they play. Terry Phelps beat her in the Virginia Slims of Florida, but she won the Lipton over Sukova and Kosevic. So let's see, that's 7, 8, 11 matches in a row. She's on a roll. That is long. Graf, on the other hand, has won 31 matches on a trot since she lost to Pam Shriver at the Virginia Slims Championships at Madison Square Garden in December. 30. since Steffi lost to Gabriela on this court last year at this time, he has only lost that one match. Set point. Second set to Sabatini, 1 set all in this match. To the winner, so we're looking at a difference of 32,000 here because the finalist will get 24, so both of them have already pocketed that. Semi-finalists make $12,000. 300,000 is the total purse here at the Darshan Long Championships. Live coverage on ESPN from Amelia Island Plantation. You're watching Steffi Graf and Gabriela Sabatini. Graf is the #1 player in the world, Sabatini #3. And closing in on Martina Navratilova, whom she beat yesterday in the semifinals in straight sets. Make that 36,000 and 32. Now arithmetic's just a few thousand off.
It's only the second set anybody has won from Steffi Graf in 65 sets she's played in 89.
The other one was
To Chris Everett.
Serve was long.
Is it the Virginia Slims of Boca Raton? Yep, he's called it long. Well, I don't know. He doesn't look too, he doesn't know where he's looking.
Now he's changed his call. The umpire's completely out of...
the umpire should get out of the chair and point to the mark.
No, the umpire got him to point to the wrong mark. The guy got up and pointed to the right mark to start off with, which was long. And Steve Ulrich now gets him to point to another mark that's hit the line.
And Fred Stolle, by the way, is at courtside just behind Ulrich, has a very good view of that line.
I'm sitting pretty much right on that line. Ball's out 3 inches. He had one criticism about the Graf forehand. It's when she runs around, it's a very quick motion, a very wristy motion. She does not prepare anywhere near as well for the forehand as does Sabatini. Ball bounces and then she makes the movement for the shot.
Fred, we're used to seeing winners slingshot off that forehand side of Graf. Well, today she's had 12 forehand winners, but 21 forehand unforced errors.
Well, if you watch with the topspin on it, you can see what I mean. She doesn't prepare until that ball bounces, and then it happens to be, you know, the timing has to be absolutely spot on every time she makes contact with the ball. Backhand's prepared, there it is.
First game, third set, 30-all. First game of the third set. So much interest in their French Open meeting last year after Sabatini had beaten Steffi Graf on this court. And she lost that one to Steffi Graf 6-3, 7-6, but it's a different court because that red clay is a lot softer. The ball doesn't get up as high, and that helps Steffi Graf. So the big topspin shots that Sabatini uses don't hurt as much. Sabatini has broken in the first game of the third set. 1-set all and 1 game to love for the Argentinian.
Look how much better Sabatini has done in the second set. Her first serve percentage in the first was at 37%. Now it's way up to about 60. And look at the unforced errors from Graf's racket. More than twice from Sabatini. Of course, Sabatini broke. That helped too. Broke her twice.
Well, you can see where the sympathies of the crowd lie in this match. Sabatini is the most popular one at the moment.
Getting back to those unforced errors for just a moment, they are, of course, technically unforced errors, and I call them that. But if you went to Sabatini, she would say to you, I am going to force her to make unforced errors with my topspin. And she has.
But in the first set, Graf still had twice as many unforced errors, but the serving percentage wasn't there. And she was able to attack a lot more second serve. She has not been able to do that in the second set. Did not want to go in, hesitated there, and that cost her. But I think that's the play that she's going to be involved with. You've got to do a few more times to get some confidence on that volley. But I don't think she's going to win from the back of the court with all that topspin.
The problem for her is that when she gets to the net, she's got to make a good volley, because if Sabatini gets to it, she's an awfully good passing shot artist. The face. "20 aces for the week on a clay court for Sabatini, and she leads it 2 games to love.
Good news for you, Cliffy. I know that you don't like watching this man smoke, and he tends to smoke a lot in matches, but he said that if she wins a Grand Slam, That's when he'll stop his smoking. I thought I'd tell you that.
I spoke to him this morning and told him we had him on camera yesterday, and in 30-second spots, just to show that he was only 30 seconds before he'd light up, and the next point he laughed.
I hate to see him do it for
It's his kid who's smoking today.
Yeah, exactly. And what?
7 straight points for Sabatini.
Here's our 3-set matches. Obviously, Graf doesn't get involved in too many 3-set matches. The Sabatini does well in them. The last time these two played a 3-setter was at the Open last year. The middle set that Sabatini won took so much out of her that she lost the 3rd set very easily, 6-1. This doesn't seem to be the same player today.
It's not. US Open, you just sensed, didn't you, that after that second set was over, that Graf was going to win the match. But that is not at all what I feel today.
Totally off balance, Graf, when she hit that forehand.
Graf watched herself at Hilton Head last week. She was shown footage of herself winning her first title in 1986, and she said of that, she said, "I can't believe I was so patient then. That's not my game now. I go for my shots." And she's not hanging in there with Sabatini. But remember, when she was asked if she thought she could go undefeated in '89, Graf said, "Definitely not. It's not possible. Somebody has to play incredible, and nobody else can be around." Sabatini's around.
Graf holds on, but she trails 2-1 in the 3rd. Event on the Senior PGA Tour final round coming up next after the tennis. This is the first year of the senior event, and they put it on to honor the winners of golf's major tournaments throughout the years. Arnold Palmer, Player, Bob Charles, Rodriguez, Chichi, of course, Al Geiberger, Miller Barber. All be there, all playing. 2-1, 3rd set, Sabatini.
Sabatini is just mixing things up much better today. Occasionally goes into the net. Quite a remarkable shot from Sabatini, and you heard it, "Vamos, let's go." She said, really into it in this 3rd and final set. Hurried swing again there from Graf.
It is, isn't it, Fred? And her impatience is usually a plus. You know, she's up and she's ready to get off the thing, get off the court in just moments. But today it's hurting her. She should be more patient, and she's not.
you what, if Sabatini beats Graf, I don't think it's an altogether bad thing for Steffi. As a matter of fact, it's going to relieve a lot of the pressure she has, trying to defend an undefeated season. The pressure will just keep mounting. And as Steffi pointed out about her undefeated year, she said in sports you always have bad days. There's the conditions, the surface, your opponent. Anything can happen.
I think she's having a bad day today, but this certainly, if she does lose this match, it will take the monkey off her back and let her to get herself all organised for the French.
There's that patience you were looking for, Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a long walk, though. Sabatini's taking the long route to get back to the service box.
But she hasn't showed any signs of being tired yet, Fred, until this point.
No, definitely not.
Remember that she expends so much energy than her opponent. And her game is much more effortful. Her strokes much longer. Her footwork not nearly as neat, as explosive. And I think with time, her game can get more and more economical, and that will help her from getting weary. And again, that she's a clay quarter. I mean, she grew up on slow red clay, Gabriela Sabatini, and that's why she is able to defend the court so well. She knows how to slide. She knows how to move. Watch this. This is a good approach shot by Graf. And yet off the slide, she wings a huge forehand topspin winner.
You combine what you just said, Mary, and you're exactly right about how she moves well on clay. It's something that you kind of born with because she played all of her tennis on clay, and combine that with this court, which suits her especially well because the ball gets up so much higher than it does on the red European clay, and you have the formula to beat Graf. Tom McDermott, of President and CEO of Marsh & Lawn, great supporter of our sport, not only this tournament, but various other tennis events around the world, really. Break point. Was that that a big point or what? 3-1 chance to break for the second time in the third set.
Noteworthy. Broken string.
And it'll fly. That's what happens when you break a string. She knew it, but what can you do but flail away anyway? What a time for that to happen. Game point for Graf.
Yeah, that happened with her. That happened to her against Martina Navratilova yesterday, and she got away with it. On the next point, she skimmed a backhand for a winner.
She played the slice against Navratilova for a winner, didn't she?
Yeah.
Went for that one. She's taking a new racket here, only about 8 feet away from where I'm sitting, just taking it out of the plastic bag.
Right down on the Dunlop mid-size, as you see, 66 pounds. And Steffi, of course, is not playing around Sanchez today. Gabriela Sabatini uses a large-headed prince.
I tell you, both of them break a lot of strings the way they play ball.
Graf holds on, but she still trails here at 3-2 in the third set. Well, let's go out to Scottsdale. Jim Kelly is there with the report on. Thank you, Jim. We're back live here at women's singles, and of course we will be joining you in Arizona as soon as this women's singles final is over. But boy, have we got something happening here. Sabatini leading 3-2 third set.
Graf must break here to get back into the match. Gabriela has now won 11 straight service points, 13 of her last 14. Even as Sabatini hit this, she was saying to herself, look, right off the string, she knew that she had mangled that volley. I think she didn't want a long rally there. Kind of came in. That's what she does, really. She comes in out of nowhere. Sometimes, at least in that instance, I think it was just because she was tired. Wanted that point over.
Get it over with. That's long.
Unbelievable. Steffi Graf, whom I feel has the best return of serve in women's tennis, has lost to Sabatini 15 of the last 17 points. That, according to our statistician, the renowned Dr. Leo Levin.
Graf beginning to show a little more patience, and she has to.
Again, she's got to break here.
This is game point.
She hasn't challenged Sabatini's serve in so long. And she couldn't do it there. Boy, she had a chance on that one, didn't she, Fred? That looks like that wasn't too tough a second serve.
No, very short second serve, and floated well into the air, so had plenty of time to execute the forehand, but she's made a lot. She rushes that forehand, bit of a short swing, and into the top of the tape. In trouble.
2-4, third set. She's part of a new breed who hits the ball so hard, Graf, isn't she? Kind of, I remember when Borg set the tone for the two-handed and the topspin shots that were copied by so many people. I suppose Lendl was the leader of this new band. That includes Agassi. Certainly Graf.
Graf has the same game as Lendl, power tennis with a big serve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gabriela Sabatini today has certainly demonstrated that she has a little more variety in her game than does Steffi Graf, the #1 player in the world. But Steffi doesn't try to take anything off, but in big, big trouble right now.
This is crisis point. Love 30, 2-4 down, third set.
You know, if she lacks variety, Fred, it's really, I think the reason is because, unlike Sabatini, Graf doesn't normally have to hit too many balls in a rally.
Exactly.
You don't see an awful lot of exposition with Steffi Graf. It's funny when you read stats of players against Steffi, you see that they haven't made that many unforced errors. I think the reason is because they don't even get to the ball to make an error. My unforced errors have gone way down these days. I just don't run for a lot of balls.
30-all.
She didn't put it away.
And she had 3 chances.
She had 3 smash opportunities. It's just right. This one she tries to fade into a corner. This one she goes right into the middle of the court and, of course, gives Graf another look at it. And this is the one she really had a shot to do right there. She just wanted to feather it over, and it didn't make it.
So instead of break point for a second break and a 5-2 lead, it's game point for Graf.
I think that explains that last point. And there had to be some nerves involved in that.
It's a good effort from Graf to keep herself in the point, too.
Yeah, but that was virtually Sabatini's match point.
she still may get another opportunity, but she will certainly remember that one. And again,
she's still thinking about it, Fred. Look at her.
When you get to that situation, you start to think about winning. That's when that Adam's apple gets in there and the elbow gets a little bit tight.
Cliff Drysdale with Mary Carrillo. Fred Stolley's at courtside. This is the Bausch & Lomb Championships from Amelia Island Plantation. It is just 2 hours old now. Graf is playing against Sabatini. Graf won the first set 6-3. She lost the second 6-3. Sabatini leads at 4-2 with the break in the third set. This is game point for Graf. Next up on ESPN, The Tradition, Senior PGA Tour from Desert Mountain Golf Club in Scottsdale. So Graf, well, she was in a lot of trouble, but she held on. And it is 4-3 for Sabatini. An undefeated season for Steffi Graf. Is it possible? Well, he's going to have to make a comeback here. She's down 4-3 in the final set.
This game here is going to tell you a lot about Gabriela Sabatini, because it looks as though she's going to take it to Steffi Graf. He had 30 all and an easy shot in that last game. Service game before that, 2 break points.
Really what's working in her favor is the fact that she has a game plan, and it is an easy game plan for her to continue to take this thing to Graf. Topspin into the backhand side, and then let things work from there.
And after a shaky first set on serve, boy, she's been so solid there.
That's the big thing, I think, the serve, because it has not allowed Graf to be the aggressor all the time.
Look what Sabatini does here. Even more severe angle. A long stretch by Graf. Sends it back into the court.
Set that up beautifully, she didn't.
Ah, it's lovely.
Game point. Wide. 1 game away. 5-3 Sabatini.
Just that last return of serve was a sign to me of how confident Sabatini is on her own serve, not on the return of serve. 40 love, she just whacked that return. She's confident that she can get through and hold serve for the match.
Well, let's see how Gabriela Sabatini handles the pressure, serving for the match when we come back. Seniors golf to follow live here on ESPN. In the meantime, Gabriela Sabatini will serve for the match, and this whole thing comes down to how well she handles the pressure, the game she has, and the strategy she has, and it is down to the wire.
She's only lost 2 points on serve this whole set. She's won 18 of her last 20 service points. That's how well she's done stepping up to the line so far in this third set.
I think you're going to see Graf go to the net occasionally in this game.
Sabatini is the only player, not only one of 4 players who have beaten her since '86, but she beat her twice last year. She's the only one who have done that. Nobody has beaten Graf in '89.
One of them was on this court a year ago.
She's only lost 2 points in this set on serve, and now in a little trouble.
That's only her second double fault of the entire day.
Concession to the tension of the moment. Would have given Graf 3 break points.
That was an easy volley too. Well, I can say that from here, but she wasn't far from the net, but a very critical one for her. She makes the good slice backhand here and then opens the court up, plays this one down the line into the right spot. But then, look, open court, everything, just tries to play it over the net, push it over, missed it.
The tradition Senior PGA Golf Tour event from the Desert Mountain Golf Club in Scottsdale, Arizona, will follow live immediately after this. It's on the line.
She really thought this was going to fly. She really thought this was going out. Look, she wasn't really chasing this down. And boy, that smacked right on that paint.
30-all. Make that 15-40.
One first serve only in this game. She's been serving so well.
Good move from Steffi Graf to come in. It is 5 games all. As dominant as she has been when you serve for the match, my friends, that is tension time, and she succumbed to it.
That really has been the difference of the match. As you see Osvaldo, Gabriela's father there, has been the difference of the match of that first serve. When she gets the first serve in, Peter Graf there, Sabatini has been able to dictate the trend of play from the back of the court. Second serve, she can't do it.
On that last backhand, a little more heat, a little more spin. That's what drew the error.
Where's the moon ball gone? She's hitting it harder now.
She's bold, isn't she? Courageous. They both are.
I think it's a bad tactic, though, for Graf, for Sabatini to get into a hitting contest with Graf.
I agree, Fred. That's why I asked where the moon ball had gone, because that's what got her here. Now it's not the time to change tactics.
I repeat what I heard so often in their practice session late last night. Oh, boy. That's what Angel Jimenez was telling Sabatini. Second double fault from Graf.
That just shows you that she is only human, and the pressures of victory are right there, particularly for such a close match.
Bad bounce.
Yeah, what a time. You'd think she'd go up, didn't you, to that bounce, because there's a chunk out of the court at that point, and that serve of Graf's got right into it, and it bounced way, way high.
She's got to think. Sabatini that against Graf, she can't try to hit her way out of trouble. That's what Graf does to him. There's all that topspin again. She's brought it back.
See, Graf has taken a little bit off that first serve, too, in this game, Mary. Not hitting it as hard, not the flat one. So far, she's gone with three-quarter pace stuff. Try and get that first serve in a little more.
First serve.
Talk about a gutsy play. Approach shot into the forehand side. Break point. For the chance to serve for the match for the second time.
You okay down there, Fred?
You could pretty much see from that swing there. That was incredible. She just set that one up, had it all there, and then just the body got through before the hand. The elbow just wouldn't go on it.
Another funky bounce. Let's say again, the grounds crew did such an amazing job trying to get this court dry after all the rain from yesterday, but there is extra top dressing on this court. And there have been some slight missed bounces. Sabatini was just a victim of another one. Her second important one of this game.
Going for the big flat serve, that one.
Cliff Drysdale, Mary Carrillo, Fred Stolle at courtside watching Steffi Graf play against Gabriela Sabatini in the Bausch & Lomb Championships live from Amelia Island Plantation in Florida. We are in the third set of this match. It's 5 games all in deuce. 2 hours and 17 minutes into the match. And break point for Sabatini. She's already served for it once.
In on that one, Graf wanted to get that one over in a hurry. A very quick swing on the forehand. Incredible. Listen to the crowd. This is an amazing match.
She'll serve for it again when we come back in a moment. Sabatini will serve for the match for the second time. If she doesn't succeed, we will see a tiebreaker.
Net 15. Yes.
Sabatini unhappy with the call. Checked with umpire Steve Ulrich, and he said yes, fault.
This is one of those matches that comes around only every so often. They played one of them last year in the semifinals, and it's another one that will go down in the history books as a great final.
Sabatini. 2 points from the match.
Match point, 2 of them for Sabatini. The tradition from Desert Mountain Golf Club in Scottsdale, Arizona, coming up immediately after this match. Gabriela Sabatini wins the Bausch & Lomb at $60,000, but much more important is the fact that she has beaten the #1